Fellow Ghanaians, good morning. Something has gone seriously wrong with basic education in this country. And the people bearing the cost of it most directly are not the administrators who are designing these policies or the publishers of textbooks who are making a lot of money from this, or even the school managers. They are the parents, ordinary Ghanaian parents, already stretched thin by the cost of living, who are being squeezed at every turn by a basic education system that has transformed itself from a public service into a revenue extraction enterprise. And their children who are being processed through this system and emerging from it without a foundational knowledge and skills that all the money being spent on them should have produced. Fellow Ghanaians, let's start with textbooks, because the textbook situation alone is a major scandal, and we have to look at it on its own. When I went to primary school and junior high school, textbooks were standardized. The books I used were the same books my seniors had used, the students before them had used. They were durable, they were reliable, and they were consistent texts that built on each other across years, and a family could hold onto one and pass it down. That model worked, it was economical, and it was pedagogically sound. What has replaced it is a system in which textbooks have been changing with suspicious regularity, in which publishers have developed ingenious mechanisms to ensure that last year's book alone cannot be used this year. Slight modifications to content, reordered chapters, marginal additions are sufficient to render a perfectly functional textbook obsolete and force parents to purchase a new one every year. This has become a business model, and the business is being run on the back of parents who have no choice but to pay because their children need the books to attend school. Fellow Ghanaians, and then someone decided that children who cannot even yet read need textbooks. Yes, textbooks for babies, for children who are still learning to hold a pencil, still learning that letters make sounds and sounds make words, still at the stage of education where the entire learning environment is supposed to be play-based and sensory exploratory. Someone decided that these children need to be carrying books home and that their parents need to be buying these books every year from publishers who have figured out that the youngest and most captive at the end of the market is the most profitable. It has become so absurd, it's exploitative, and it reflects a basic education system that has lost sight of what early childhood learning is actually supposed to look like. Fellow Ghanaians, then the extra classes situation, which has become another form of organized pressure on parents that we must all be very concerned about. As you know, school children spend months in school, learning and absorbing and working through a curriculum that is already demanding for young minds. The school vacation, those 2 weeks or just a little, that a child can go home and be just a child, play with friends, spend time with family, decompress and return to learning refreshed, has now been colonized by the extra class industry. Parents are made to feel through explicit pressure or through the powerful implicit suggestions that their child will fall behind if they do not enroll in that vacation school. It is not a right, but a luxury, and that the price of not paying for extra classes is academic disadvantage. So they pay, already overwhelmed, already calculating every cedi they pay, because what parent will risk their child's future to save money? Fellow Ghanaians, and then there are the graduation ceremonies. This country has apparently decided that every transition in a child's educational journey, from nursery to kindergarten, from kindergarten to primary, from primary to JHS, must be marked with a graduation ceremony, complete with gowns and photography and all the rentals that comes with it. The cost that these events generate. A child of 5 years old who has just been in school for 1 year is being graduated in a ceremony for which their parents are expected to pay fees that has no relationship to the educational value of what is being celebrated. These are not achievements being honored. These are revenue opportunities. And the parents who decline to participate face the social pressure of watching their children be the only ones without a gown while classmates are photographed in theirs. Fellow Ghanaians, on top of all of this sit the unapproved levies, the school-specific charges that no one in authority has sanctioned, that is being collected through the same channels as legitimate fees so that parents cannot often distinguish between what is officially required and what is being extracted. A parent receiving a fees notice from their child's school is not in a position to audit the content. They pay what is in front of them because the alternative is the child being embarrassed or excluded. Fellow Ghanaians, and then after all of this financial and emotional toll, after all the textbooks bought, the extra classes paid for, and the graduation fees that are settled, all of those unapproved levies are paid for, the quality of what is being produced is not improving at the rate that justifies any of it. Basic grammar is suffering. Foundational literacy and numeracy are not where they should be. Children are moving through the system carrying certificates that represent less learning than the investment in the education should have produced. We are paying more and getting less, and the people profiting from the gap between what parents pay and what children are not are the children. Fellow Ghanaians, we have to standardize textbooks, regulate all these fees that are being paid, limit graduation ceremonies to transitions that genuinely warrant them, protect the school vacation, and hold the Ghana Education Service accountable for the quality of learning that all of this expenditure is supposed to deliver. Basic education in Ghana has become a racket. It is time to dismantle it and rebuild it in the interest of the children it was created to serve. Because of course, unless you are lying with a lot of cash in your pocket to be able to afford all these costs, it is time to change the system. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians.